I got this bike for free. What if I told you I could turn a free item into $5,000? How? Fixing, selling, and reinvesting money until I achieve my goal of $5,000. Do you think I can accomplish my goal? Drop your comment down below if you think I can. High five if you think I can accomplish my goal. Hey, he thinks I can. And for everyone asking how I got this bike for free, let me tell you a little backstory. I was scrolling Facebook like any normal day, and boom, I see a neighbor giving away this bike. Why? One of their kids' friends sunk it in a pond, and they didn't have time to fix it. There were tons of comments, and everyone of course wanted it. I messaged instantly, but they told me I was fifth in line. I waited patiently, and then nobody showed up. They ended up messaging me, and they said, you can take it. This is an Apollo RFC Racing 125cc dirt bike, and it lived a short and very hard life, because it went completely underwater. So let's see what we're able to do with this thing. If you want to get that $5,000, we got to get to work. The first thing we have to check is if this bike actually turns over, because it went completely underwater, and that's why we got it for free. So let's try to kick it over. Oh, something's happening. Look, there's water coming out of the exhaust. It seems like it's probably locked up. So let's pull the spark plug out, and I bet you water's gonna come out of the engine. That looks a little wet. Now let's try to kick it over. Whoa. Yep, that's definitely water. But the good news is the motor's actually spinning over now. So it might be in good shape. So now that we got all the water out of the cylinder, I'm gonna put the spark plug back in after we blew it off. Well, that's a problem. I think before we continue, we should probably fix this first so I can actually hold on to the bike. That's not supposed to be like that. That's a little better. Now we're going to change the oil because this bike went underwater, and we want to make sure that there's no water in the oil, as well as the oil is probably original and needs to be changed. So now it has nice, clean oil. Let's spray some starter fluid in the intake and see if the engine will attempt to start. Oh, hey, look at that. It did something. Well, it looks like the bike doesn't want to stay running, so we're gonna have to take the carburetor off and clean it, because more than likely that's the issue. Since the bike went underwater, it probably has water and junk inside the carburetor. We gotta see what's inside and figure it out. So let's take the carburetor off and see what secrets are inside. And you can see that's actually all corrosion right here, which was probably preventing the slide from going up and down. Well, that's like the easiest carburetor I ever removed. Now that we got the carburetor off, let's take it to the bench and see if we can clean it. As you can see, the carburetor is completely clogged up, and the low and high speed jets are full of varnish. So we have to take them out, and I bet you once we clean them, the bike will probably run great. This is actually a really good carburetor. It's a Keihin carburetor, and it's made in Japan. So now that we clean the carburetor, we want to make sure that the carburetor gets fresh gas, of course, because it probably has some water in the tank since this thing did go for a swim. So we're going to drain all the old gas that could have some water in it and fill it up with fresh gas. So this was taking way too long to drain out of the gas tank, so I'm just going to use in my oil extractor. Well, obviously it looks pretty dark, and I think that's because there was probably a little oil left in my extractor, but you can actually see that there is a little bit of water in it because it's pretty cloudy. So it's a good thing we sucked it out. So now that we got the carburetor here all cleaned up, we're going to put it back on the bike, and let's see if we can get this thing to run just like that. Put a little gas. Let's see if this thing fires up now. I think we got a good chance in this thing starting right up. Oh, I forgot to turn the gas on. Let's see here. So now let's kick it and see if it fires right up. Hey, look at that. Pretty good. Put it in gear and see if I do anything. Hey. Oh. So we just got the bike running, and now we're gonna spray it with some
secret sauce.
We're gonna clean the bike and get it list worthy. Just finished cleaning this bike up. I think it looks pretty good. Now, the coolest part is we got it running. We didn't spend any money other than a couple gallons of gas and a little bit of time. So we're gonna take some photos of this thing list it for sale, and see how much we can get out of it. We listed the bike for $350. A couple hours later, someone scooped it up for 300 bucks. Not too bad, especially considering the only thing wrong with it was a dirty carburetor. Now that I got $300 to work with, we gotta find something fast, easy, and cheap to fix so we can turn it into the next thing. So the hunt starts right now. While I was hunting for my next great deal, I started noticing my back was killing me. I tried sitting everywhere, on a cowling, and right next to Jack. Nothing worked. I guess working on that bike in a terrible posture wasn't my brightest idea. And now, I can't even focus on finding a deal. Oh, my back hurts. If only I could have something better to sit in.
Hey, I have seen that you can't focus finding deals because your back is hurting a lot. So I got something for you.
Wow, what is that?
This is the C7 Max chair by FlexiSpot, and it will help you maintain better posture so you can focus your mind on finding better deals.
Well, let me try it out then. Let me get rid of this old thing. We don't need that anymore. Try this out. Wow. Oh. This chair is incredible. It has every adjustment you need for maximum comfort. You can customize the backrest, headrest, lumbar support, seat depth, and it even features 5D armrests. It adapts perfectly to your height, and ready for the best part? The built-in footrest gives you extra comfort and a fully ergonomic seating position. So yes, you can scroll Facebook Marketplace all day long without neck pain, and thanks to the memory foam cushioning, you can sit comfortably for up to 12 hours with no problem at all. Even Jack loves laying down in the chair with me. Now that I'm comfortable, I'm able to find great deals on Marketplace. It looks like I actually found one right here. So we're gonna go check it out. We just got back home and I think we got a great deal on this trailer. We only ended up spending 150 bucks for it, which I think will turn out really good because we don't have to do too much work to it. The guy even included the wood bunks for it. So we're gonna roll it into Rob's garage and we're gonna start working on it right away. First thing we have to do is make it look a little bit better. So all we have to do is take a socket.
This is so comfortable, I'm gonna take it.
Stop, that's my chair. Hey, give me that back. Hey, you don't have to steal my chair. I got an amazing deal for you and a discount code. Use my code C730 to get $30 off right away and enjoy all of this premium comfort. But it gets even better. With FlexiSpot Black Friday deals going on, you can save up to 80% off site-wide, on top of the $30 off. And get this, every chair comes with a 30-day risk-free trial and 10 years of warranty, which is definitely better than the stuff I buy that comes with no warranty. Make sure to check out FlexiSpot, and thank you FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. So now let's get back to work. Let's remove these old crusty plates. This wood is actually pressure treated. It's in really good shape. And the reason why those brackets were so rusty was because someone put carpet on the bottom of the wood boards. You're not supposed to do that with pressure treated wood. So I left a little space and cut out the old rusty part, and we're gonna use the old boards in this trailer to save us a little money because the wood is actually in great shape. So all we have to do right now is get our staple gun, staple up the parts that lost their staples, and we should be good to go. You always want to use stainless steel staples for anything that's going to touch the water because, of course, eventually they'll rust away. It also came with some extra bunks from probably another trailer, so we're not going to be needing those, and we'll use them for a future project. Now that we got the bunks on the trailer, all we have to do is screw them down. I'm going to be reusing the hardware because it was actually in pretty good shape and it's stainless steel. So all we have to do is clean it up a little bit and we'll save us a couple bucks. So all we gotta do is take some pictures of it and put it for sale. On top of everything, we got lucky because the previous owner gave me the registration. So that makes the trailer easily worth between $500 and maybe even $600. So I think we did a pretty good deal here. While we put the trailer for sale, I'm gonna go take Jack for a walk. You wanna go for a walk? Yeah, you wanna go for a walk. And we're gonna wait and see if someone buys it. Meanwhile, while I take Jack for a walk, we're gonna keep looking for deals. Great news, we just sold the trailer for $500. Since we didn't spend hardly any money at all fixing up the trailer, that's almost all profit. Plus, we still have the net profit of $150 from selling the bike previously. So in total, we have around $650. We're gonna take that money and look on Marketplace and see what we can find to buy next. After searching for hours, I finally scored a great deal on an outboard motor. So come along with me to seal the deal. We grabbed it, didn't even think twice, and loaded it straight into the car. No lift, just pure muscle. This is a 2015 Mercury outboard motor. It's a 4-stroke and it's a 60 horsepower. I think I got such a great deal on this motor that I didn't even negotiate the price. So let's see what I got and hopefully it'll work. The first thing I noticed looking at this engine was that this steering tube looks like it's all messed up. So that might be a problem that we have to deal with later. But I think the first thing we should do is check the oil first and see if the engine will start, because that'll tell us if it needs a bunch of other things. So we're gonna check the oil, and the dipstick is right here. That looks pretty good. It's completely full and there's no water in it. Another helpful tip, if you're ever buying a used 4-stroke outboard motor, that you can do is, depends on the motor, you should always check the oil fill cap, because most oil fill caps on modern 4-stroke outboard motors are in the valve cover, which actually allows you to see inside the engine and kind of determine the condition, as well as if there's a milky substance on the bottom of the cap, that means that there could have been water in it or there is water in the oil. I want to show you the bottom of the oil cap because that's very important. As you can see, this cap looks really good. There's no white milky residue. Always double check inside. I don't know how many times I went to go buy an outboard motor that I haven't checked this and I've gotten burned because I didn't check this one simple thing. So it's something to keep in mind. Now the only thing left to do is hook up some power and put some gas in it. So I'm gonna run to the gas station, get some gas. Now that we hooked up power to the motor, let's see if it does anything. So let's hit the trim button. Oh, that's good. Well, we know the trim worked. Hopefully, I'm not being too optimistic, but everything looks really good so far. I'm gonna hook up the earmuffs and hopefully this thing starts on the first try. The moment of truth, I got the key switch right here and the harness hooked up. Huh, wait a minute, let me see something. It seems like the key switch isn't working correctly. So I'm gonna have to jump the starter solenoid and see if the engine starts. Oh wow, look at that. Fired right up. All right, now let's see if we can get the prop to go in a gear. Yep, that's reverse, that's neutral, and that's forward. Check out this P stream. That's a good water pump. Well, that's good. It looks like the motor's not overheating and we got good water pressure. So that's another win. I'm really glad that Shen made a good quality motor. Now that the motor runs surprisingly well, which was a big surprise to me, we got to focus our attention to this rusty steering tube because it looks like it's not going to come out. Someone definitely beat on it. We might as well beat on it some more and see if we can get it out. Now with a bigger hammer, let's see if we can get it out. Okay. After hitting this and realizing that it didn't move at all, I think this might be why we got the motor so cheap. But first, we're going to detail this motor and get rid of all this greasy dirt and nasty stuff all over it to remove this stuck steering shaft, because this shaft doesn't want to get out of there and we're going to need the forklift and some other special tools. Check. What do you think of the work we're doing today? There we go. Now that we got the engine stand removed, I can show you a little bit better why we had to lift the engine off the stand. This whole bracket is one piece, which of course is part of this. And you can see that the steering tube goes through it, which this is the actual problem. This tube is completely frozen into this bracket. So what I'm going to attempt to do is remove all these bolts right here, cut this shaft right here, which will allow me to hopefully get it off. And we got to make sure they're the same size so we put it back together correctly. Now that we got those bolts out of the way, check this out. We got it free. Now I got the grinder and we're going to chop this thing right off. There we go. Just like that, came right off. The good thing is, since we cut it right here, we shouldn't have to cut it here because actually it's not locked up in this. So only in the bracket, it's frozen. We should be able to just pull it out just like that. I almost forgot, we have to remove the trim wires to get this bracket off because the wires actually run through it. So we're gonna have to de-rig that and pull them out. It looks like I can't get these wires out as easily as I thought, so I'm gonna take this side cover off, which should make it a little bit easier. There we go. Finally, we got it out. Once we finally got everything disassembled, it was time for the fun part, heavy duty machinery. We rolled out the hydraulic press, lined everything up, and boom, less than a second, it was done. While we were in there, we also fixed up a few extra things, like the tilt stop bracket, making sure that it sat perfectly at 90 degrees. Then, we scraped off all the rust and barnacles, cleaned everything up, and check out this old steering tube. This is what happens when you never grease the steering rod and the steering tube. It's so frozen solid, even after beating on it and completely smashing this nut, they've become one shaft. Right here is the new Mercury tilt tube that we needed. This was about 120 bucks. And made sure to apply plenty of grease so this doesn't happen to the next person. Can't forget the nylon washer that goes in between, which I bought 2 brand new ones. These ran me about 10 bucks. Looking at the old nut, I think it was time for some new ones as well. So I bought both of them, which cost me another 10 bucks. So I just finished putting the motor back together. The trim is back in place where it should be. The only thing we have really left to do, cosmetically, it looks a little rough. So I'm going to take these old stickers off, repaint the cowling, and apply some new decals. So the motor should look pretty good. We can maximize our profit. Now, let's fill the holes with body filler. Now that we let the primer dry for a full 24 hours, we're ready to start painting. Now, I'm not a professional painter by any stretch of the imagination, as you can see, but I think for a $30 can of spray paint and about an hour of my time, it looks pretty good. This is part of the steering bracket. It's pretty rusty. So let's take it off and clean it up a little bit. Now we just have to wait until the paint completely dries before we can finish with the restoration process.
6.5 hours later.
After waiting a complete 24 hours for the paint to cure and dry, now I begin to sand the paint. Now that we finish sanding the paint, I think it's time for the clear coat. After the clear coat dries, I sand it down one more time, then wash it down and make sure it's completely dry. Once that's done, we can start polishing it to bring it back to that new factory fresh look. Now this looks pretty good. For the little money and time we spent, I think it's a good improvement. Once we put the decals on, it'll really make it look a lot better. By the time I bought the decals, I realized I had put an extra $200 of my own money just to cover the paint, clear coat, and the decals themselves. I really just hoped to make it back once I sell it. So we finally finished all the things we needed to do with the engine, and I think it looks pretty good. Honestly, what took the longest was sanding and painting the motor to make it look the way it does now. The motor is officially listed for $5,000. I'm open to offers, but I want to stay firm and as close as I can to that goal. For now, I think we did a good job in finishing this challenge. Here's the final breakdown of the expenses. We picked up the motor for $550. And we put about $300 into parts. So right now, we got about $200 of our own money in the project, which we expect to make back. If we're able to sell it for $5,000, that gives us a clean profit of $4,150. And even if it doesn't sell for the full amount, we're still walking away with a solid profit. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see what crazy projects I get myself into next. And thanks for watching.